残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ
Being an anime fan is hard work these days. It's not enough to just like anime anymore, but apparently there are now requirements before you can officially label yourself as a true anime fan, set by the I have no life please shoot me now committee that seem to plague every anime forum out there. One such requirement being that you must have seen the monstrous list of classic animes that those random nerds suggested. And while I think this whole concept is a big turd, I decided to give it a shot anyway by watching a classic that's ending is on the same level of pretentiousness that most abstract paintings lack. That's right, I'm talking about Evangelion. Evangelion is set in a totally vague future where Japan is the centre of technology, politicians are a bunch of pompous dickheads, and kids are a bunch of whiny, angsty pussies. So basically just like the present day, except with the inclusion of giant robots and monsters. The story follows our main protagonist, a boy going by the name of Shinji Ikari in days where he doesn't piss me off, and Titwank in all other days when I'm feeling immature and angry. So one day, Titwank is standing in the middle of Tokyo casually picking his nose or whatever he likes to do, when he is suddenly whisked away to his secret underground base in which his father, Titwank Senior, i.e. the cunt, tells him he has to pilot a new giant robot thingy called Evangelion in order to save the world from total destruction. And so we follow Titwank in his daily adventures of piloting giant robots, crying himself to sleep, and having a wank. Along the way we get introduced to other pilots in the form of Ray Ayanami and Asuka I'm German Langley, but in the end it all breaks down to Titwank being a tit, Asuka being a bitch, Ray being a mute, while the cunt is busy competing in the Twat Olympics, bringing home gold for the Twatathon, setting new world records of twat, and winning the Lifetime Achievement Award for biggest twat of the century. Yeah, I think what I was trying to say was, he's a bit of a twat. Okay, so with the synopsis and characters explained, sort of, I can finally get to what I think about the show. So let me get this off my chest. Eva is a good anime, and has some damn great moments in it. The first episode drew me in completely, which is something I couldn't say for the last two animes I reviewed, and from then on I was hooked. Every new episode threw up new questions, the plot kept thickening, and I found myself to be damn well on the edge of my seat at times. But then something happened. Or to be precise, nothing happened. Questions kept piling up, and it was about 20 episodes in before I realised that I had about 100 questions and precisely none of them had been answered. I kept getting the feeling that I was watching another episode of Lost, and God do I not want to go through that experience again. I was eagerly expecting a great ending where all loose ends are fantastically intertwined and get tied up. Instead, what I got was the animation company wanking off right in my face, and probably the biggest case of mindfuckery I ever got. So basically like watching another episode of Lost. This doesn't just apply to the series ending, but with the movie endings as well. I would like to talk to the director Anno one day and ask him exactly what he was thinking when he made both endings. Though then again, I would never know whether to look at his face or his arse when he's talking, since I would never be sure which hole he was speaking out of at a certain time. Many fans I've talked to says that the ending is just a work of art that I don't get. Though in my mind, making something then calling it a work of art is the same way as saying I'm a pretentious prick who knows I made something shit but is going to say it's good anyway. This isn't helped by the legions of fanboys protecting Anno's work in an attempt to see how deep they can reach inside his arse using only their lips. And that brings me to another problem I had with the series. Shinji. It seems that in this day and age, emo characters are in. I don't know why. Maybe whiny characters are more relatable, since all kids seem to do nowadays is to complain and moan about absolutely everything. But Shinji takes his concept and pushes it about 10 miles too far, because he seems to be suffering from a rare unexplained disease in which his balls got so fucking irritated with him that they decided to just pack their bags and leave, leaving Shinji as a confused underage girl pretending to be a boy. Actually, I'm being a bit too harsh here, since even confused underage girls probably have less things to whine about than this git here. Evidently, it seems that his condition was contagious, since the more the series went on, the more the angst wound up until the final episodes ended up resembling what would happen if Michael Jackson, Marilyn Manson and Sigmund Freud got together one night and spontaneously decided that they should all write an anime script. Although I liked Evangelion, and yes, I really did at times, there were just too many things that just straight up pissed me off when I couldn't ignore. It could be so close to perfection, but I couldn't ignore its faults. Think of it like you've just met a girl. She's a steaming hot, good-looking girl, and everything between you just clicks. The best thing is she likes you as well. You think she's perfect for you. But when you bring her home and start getting frisky, you look down at her and see a penis. She may have been the 100% perfect girl for you. She may have been the hottest person you've ever met. She may have been the only girl who's ever liked you. But you can't ignore the fact that she has a dick. Sorry, where was I? Anyway, Shinji, the angst, and the ending were just too much for me to look the other way, and ended up pissing me off more than appreciating the good bits. It's as if it doesn't actually want me to like it, since every time I get a step closer to accepting it for the little bastard child that it is, it just throws a big tissy fit, and I leave irritated and confused. If someone were to ask me if I would recommend Evangelion, I would say no. Instead, watch Rasaphon, which is basically just a carbon copy of Evangelion, with Shinji replaced with a character who has backbone and balls, the angst replaced with brilliant romance, and an ending that doesn't have his head stuck up its own arse. Overall, I give this anime a 7 out of 10.
Fly me to